welcome to The Next MP. My name is Kafui Day. My guest is a development planner and the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the good people of Agona West in the Central Region, Mr. Paul Ofori Amwa. Welcome to The Next MP.
Thank you, Kafui.
Good to have you here. Why do you want to represent the people of Agona West come December 7, 2020?
Yeah, pleasure having me. Yes, Agona West, in fact, I greet my constituents of Agona West. And Agona West is the second largest constituency in the Central Region. And as such, it's a swing constituency. It's a constituency that nobody has autonomous control over.
So this time it's MPP,
yes, it's NDC.
Why do you think that is so? Why do you have a lot of constituencies in the Central Region that swing like that?
Yes, it's one of the constituencies that vote basically based on issues. So within the first 3 years of an MP, the constituents had already taken a decision.
Does that mean that the other constituents around the country don't vote on issues? They vote on ethnic group?
Basically, some of them do vote just because I'm an MPP or just because I'm an NDC. But then my constituents in Agona West, you will not get it like that. No. You definitely have to justify why there's a need for you to go for the second term. And it's a constituency that you cannot disappoint. You cannot just come and promise and then leave everything ajar. And these are some of the issues I realized, in fact, with this current administration. And it was just like our current MP had so many promises she came in with, but then doing little or none.
You're talking about the current Minister
for Gender and Social Protection, yes.
And MP for Agona West.
Yes.
Cynthia Morrison.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. So it got to a stage, the youth of the constituent, they were all over looking for somebody who has the constituent at heart. And that was when I came in to, at least, over the years, we've supported the constituency a lot. Wherever we've worked, whatever we've done, we've supported the constituency. So I was known by all. It cut across the political divide, whether MPP, PPP, CPP, NDC. So I came into the scene to also try and then whatever I'm doing behind stage to bring it to the limelight.
What were you doing behind the stage?
Oh yes, behind the stage I've contributed so much to the people of Agona West. In fact, I've worked in 3 places. One is the GIFEC, that was right after the university days.
This is the Ghana
Investment Fund for Electronic Communication.
Indeed.
I was attached to the research department. And fortunately, during that time, I also became an assembly member at a very young age. I think.
Were you doing your national service when you were at GIFEC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I became an assembly member whilst I was doing my national service.
Working at GIFEC?
Yes.
And also had the opportunity to donate
computers
to a bunch of schools in the area.
Yes.
Where were you getting the money from? How much is your allowance?
It's all about leadership position. It's all about lobbying. And, as at that time, it was Honorable Kofi Ato, who was administrator of GIFEC. So what I did was I had some engagement with GIFEC and then the Ministry of Communication. That was Honorable Harry Nedrusu that time. And then I managed to pull my way through to secure some computers, about 80 computers. In fact,
that's not some, that's a lot of computers.
Yeah. In fact, we want to do more, so I'll say some. So that was way back 2011. Almost all secondary schools in my area benefited from. And you were in your 20s? Yes.
You were in the assembly as well?
Yes. And as at that period, too, I was also the chairman of the Development Planning Committee of the Agona West Municipal Assembly. And during that tenure, we did the Suedro Market Redevelopment Plan. And we did so many things, some other market development plans we did, some artisan village activities we put in place, which of course I know this current administration, they are not even aware of such artisan village being in existence. And it is one of the flashpoint areas I am planning to look at when I'm voted into power, because you have most of our people. We went to Techiman that time. Techiman has a very nice artisan village where you have all the various artisans clustered at one particular point. So it also makes it easy for the assembly revenue generation. But then here in our case, they are scattered all over. So
you wanted to bring that Techiman idea
yes,
over
to
Agona
West. Yes.
Okay.
In fact, we have allocated land, done the water extension, everything there. it was left for us to talk with the various artisans and the rest. But this is our political environment we find ourselves in. Sometimes it's become difficult to implement some of these things. But then I believe in dialogue. As a development planner, you always have to, discuss and then dialogue with the people you want to implement whatever you want to do with.
I just want to touch on a couple of things. So you're relatively young. I mean, you were an assembly person in your 20s.
Yeah.
And it appears that your education, your training as a development planner has actually helped you to carve a niche in the political space. Is this something that was intentional, or you just found yourself doing development planning and then found yourself in politics at a very early age?
Yes, I remember my dad actually wanted me to do law in the beginning, but then I had this lecturer friend. In fact, my dad was a lecturer, so his friend was always pushing me. I know I really like writing. I write a lot, so he always comes and he was more like, he was a development planner and he was a consultant, so I realized, oh, this man, aside the planning job, he was doing other things. So I developed interest. And so during the university days, I opted for development planning. And just to appease my dad, I chose law as my second program. But unfortunately for him, I got the development planning. And I think it has really helped to shape me, especially my analytical way of looking at things. Because as a planner, you don't just accept anything thrown at you. You have to analyze both the positives and the negatives, and then you take a decision based on that. And that is the main reason why I came into the assembly concept. When I completed, I was more like I wanted to work at the district assembly as a planning officer. But then I need some experience. How do I get that experience? So while I was doing the national service, I was also eyeing the local government service. And fortunately, right after service, I gained employment at the local government service as a planning officer for Ho Municipal Assembly.
So it took you from Agona West to Ho?
To Ho, yes. So I was an assembly member at the same time a planning officer. Very tough.
Assembly member where?
In Agona West, yes.
But posted to Ho as a planning officer?
As a planning officer.
And you were still organizing jobs for people in Agona West?
Yes. So what basically I was doing was, in my days in Ho Municipal Assembly, when the assembly had any contract they were going to give, I just try and lobby contractors. We had so many artisans, plumbers, masons. So I always tell contractors, I don't demand anything from you, but then I have about 5 masons if you can work with them. In fact, I have some contractors who still date. We've been very, very close. And that's how come the youth started developing interest, because I took them to some contractors, and some are still working with those contractors, doing other big jobs elsewhere. And
so these people you got the jobs for, were they back in Agona West? Or
yes.
They were in
Yes. No. I went to my area, Agona West, to pick them, and then I assigned them to the various contractors. So the contractor works with them as their workers.
Were you looking forward to a day like this where you'd be sitting here and talking about your ambition to be NDC's parliamentary representative for Agona West this year? Honestly,
I would say no. Those who know me, it got to a time when NDC, they were having their various constituency elections, regional elections. I was approached. And I said, no. Anything that I'll go and contest that people have to vote, I wouldn't do again. In fact, that's what I told them. So I was like, later, I think we went somewhere. And then the discussion came up again amongst the youth. I said, look, no, somebody should go. Then we will all support the person. But then it was more like the thing was pointing at me. Rather, I was pointing at some others, but then they felt, no, Paul, you have been an assembly member before. You have served on various committees of Agona West. And looking at your position now, you are in the best position. So I went back, thought through it, and I took the decision.
Did it ever cross your mind to represent the NPP?
Never.
Why? Why?
Yes. As of 2008, when I was in tech, I remember I was developing interest for NPP to some extent, but then some commentary in Asawase and those areas, excuse me to say, they were unpalatable. More like we are more humans than the rest of the other political parties, so it put me off. So 2008, you know, when I was coming down from Kumasi, I had in mind to come and vote for Kafui. But then I got to town and I voted against him. And then voted against my former MP, that was Honorable Samboro Obodai. Though he gave, in fact, transportation for all those who came from Kumasi was given to me. So I brought them. But I had to vote against them because of my own ideology. So I came back and I said, no, this is a party maybe I have to join, NDC.
Okay, so you joined the NDC in 2008?
Yeah, I've been with NDC somewhere, but actively from 2008,
okay.
Yes.
Involved in many things, training of polling agents for the
Yes.
2012 election,
Yes.
and basically at the grassroots,
Yeah.
which has culminated to this point where you are challenging the current MP, who is also the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Cynthia Morrison. She had a 58%, she won by 58% in the election.
Yeah.
And she has clout as a minister and an MP. How do you intend to jump over this?
Yes, 58%. I think virtually if you are contesting an election and then your strong opponent is taken out of the contest, I was even expecting her to win by about 90-something%. Because contesting with somebody like Obodai, who has been an MP for 12 years, he has gone off the scene for 8 years.
No, but you yourself told me that Agona West, you know, you vote on issues.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So nobody can get 90%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Based on your own political party, I mean, 800 delegate voting, I was expecting that he pushed through, about 700 votes. But then that notwithstanding, you know, sometimes I'm sure the delegates had no option because they were looking at other options available, and it was virtually Obodai, which they felt, no. For the past 12 years, there was nothing to write home about. And then, okay, if this is the only shot, why don't we just take our money and vote for her? And that's basically what they did. But then the real elections is December 7th, where the masses are going to speak. And I'm sure they are going to speak convincingly so that the people of Ghana, I mean, the whole country will know that Aguna West have spoken, and then they've spoken well. That's a sport, yeah.
She's quite busy. I've been checking out what she's been doing. I mean, there was a donation of an ambulance, personnel, a donation from the MP to the Agona Swedru Municipal Hospital. There's another ambulance going to Agona Nyakrom. They're working on roads, a bridge over River Akura, boreholes, you know, personal donation. And we talk about issues, but people also look at these things and think, okay, well, our MP is providing for our needs, you know, ambulance, water, roads. How do you come up against something like that?
Yes, as I said earlier on, Aguna West is a constituency that you cannot take them for a ride. You cannot wait after 3 years after your election, then the final year you try to do something.
Obodai was there for 3 terms.
Yes, for Obodai, I mean, you know,
3 terms.
Obodai would have gone off.
Morrison could be there for another 2
Obodai would have gone
terms.
off in 2008 if NDC hadn't presented an independent candidate to as well.
He was there for 12 years.
So that was it. But then now the dynamics are different. What I would say is, I mean, it's those things that you mentioned. The ambulance was before she even became a minister, an MP.
Yeah.
That
Just
was
like
what,
you're also giving computers before you.
That was what. No, that was just a year to the elections. But for my own 2011, 2012, I mean, 2020, about 9 years. I mean, it's quite some time.
So the giving works, right? When you give people things, then they vote for you.
Oh, at times, it has influence. Yes, at times you have some influence. But then talking about the boreholes, these are NGO projects. I mean, these
But
are
it's
rubbish.
lobbying, like you also lobby people.
Yes,
to give them
so,
so she's also lobbying.
so definitely when it comes to that, then I would say that, okay, me, I have not been an MP, then I'm doing well. Because when you get to Aguna West, the educational sector, I've brought 2 Japanese to Aguna West. To also, I work with JICA now as a programs officer.
The Japan International
Cooperation Agency. Yes.
Okay.
And we have this dispatch of Japanese volunteers. And since I'm from Aguna West, at least I've dispatched about 4 volunteers to Aguna West. And then they've all supported Aguna West in diverse ways, especially our educational settings, looking at the basic education, supporting teachers with some TLMs.
And TLM, teacher and learning materials.
Teaching and learning materials. And then regarding our health sector, you know, this mother and child record book, I mean, I had to stand in for Aguna West to push that Aguna West has its fair share. So talking about that, then I would say I've done more, even before I become an MP, because there are a lot of people I've singularly handed them training in the various skills. Hairdressing, I have about 60 people that I've paid for their training in hairdressing. I have those in seamstress. I have other welding and fabrications. Yesterday, we started doing license for drivers. And my target is to target 200 drivers. I've bought 4 cars for people to do work and pay.
It's an expensive venture being
campaigning
to be an MP.
My principle has been like, I don't have the resources to give to people to vote for me. No. I'd rather invest in you so that you'll be able to do things by yourself. For example,
these vehicles, who paid for them?
They are paying them. They are paying it. I bought for them.
Okay.
25,000. And they are paying the same 25,000. I've not added even one city. No. You have the license, they need cars to work, to look after their families. And then you have a sitting MP and a minister hoarding money for elections. You have to pay.
How do you know that? How do you know she's
yes,
hoarding money
but
for
during the
elections?
primaries, they paid 800 people. If you give each person 1,000 cedis, that's about how much? Calculate it. That's about.
You're making an allegation that she paid 800 people 1,000.
It's not an
each.
allegation. In fact, it's not an allegation.
What is it then?
I mean, it's an opinion.
You saw the money.
Oh yes.
hands?
Oh
You
yes,
saw it?
yes. Oh yes.
You have evidence?
Oh yes, of
Because
course.
you can't
It
just say
was
things
it
like
was
that.
600 cedis in the morning, and then the people were saying they were not going to vote because 600 cedis is not enough. So around 11:30, when I was leaving my house, they have a polling station close to my house. They were there. They were shouting, "Paul Wana, those going to vote for you." They were shouting, "Paul Wana, yeah, check whatever." I mean, you are waiting for it. You are waiting for the money. Exactly 11:30, the additional 400 cedis came in across board. So just calculate 1,000 cedis, multiply it by 800.
How much are you giving your people?
I'm not paying. I don't need to pay. Yesterday something happened. I was walking in town and then a gentleman approached me. Honorable, get something for me.
Yeah, of course.
And I was more like, what do you do? He said, me, I'm a mason. I'm a mason. I said, so do you have your tree? He said, no. Whenever there's a job, I get some and then I go and do it. I said, look, follow me. Instead of me giving the money to you, I bought 3 barrels and then 1 trowel for him. That, come on, go and use it.
So he's going with that?
Yes.
How are you funding your campaign?
Oh, yes. From friends. I would say friends have been very supportive. I am someone who have kept friends. I keep friends. So
Which
even
friends?
schoolmates, other people I come across, in my field of job, I've met some contractors over the years, and then we've been in touch over the years. So you'll be there, somebody will just say, Paul, I'm doing, what do you call it, posters, 2,000 for you. Somebody will say, Paul, 1,000.
And you know that it's not entirely altruistic. If they do something for you, you will do something for them.
These are people I've helped over the years. When I was in Ho from 2012, they've gotten contracts in Ho. I never chased any of them for a percentage or something. So I just place a call to them.
And then they help you out.
Look, yes, I'm contesting.
How much do you think you've spent so far on your campaign?
Will I be able to quantify
You
it?
should be able to. You are a development plan. You people think.
Oh, yes.
You must have accurate records.
I wouldn't say on my campaign, but then in investing in people, yes, I've invested. I've invested close to a little over 500,000. Yes.
Over what period of time?
Oh, I've been in this for over 2 years, constantly. Yes. Constantly, I've been moving around, campaigning. I've been doing so many stuff. And you're expecting to spend more. Yes, now that maybe the elections are getting closer to you, there are other needs you want to settle. It's about time people understand the job of an MP as well as, the things you need to assist them with. For me, I'm not a fan of giving money to people. No, I rather prefer to just get trade for you. Yesterday, for example, I met some women and then straight away I gave 10,000 cedis to them to at least share for their businesses. Some do, pure water, some charcoal, and these people need 200 cedis, 100 cedis, and the rest. So there are about 200 women and giving 10,000 to them.
But how do you guarantee that they're not going to just blow that money on something else?
No, whatever they are doing. In fact, I've had several meetings with them. And then I know each of them where they are and then their needs, what they want to do. So we are expecting that at least I've given you this money today, yesterday. at least in a month or two, I can come around to come and see whatever you do. That's why I said I don't want to wait till election before I start investing in the people. Yeah, no.
All right, you're watching The Next MP. My name is Kafui. My guest is the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the good people of Agona West in the Central Region, Mr. Paul Ofori Amwa. When we return, we'll talk a little bit about development planning, which is his specialty, and then what plans he has should he make it into the August House of Parliament. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, my name is Jermaine Nkrumah. For decades, leaders in Ghana have been complaining about brain drain, referring to the mass exodus of Ghanaians into foreign lands. The good news is lately, that brain drain has actually evolved into what many refer to as brain gain. In other words, Ghanaians left and have acquired new skills, and they are now available to come home to help with national development. In fact, here at DNT, we insist that there's nothing that Ghana needs done towards her development that she cannot find a Ghanaian to do, be they at home or from somewhere in the world. The question is there a role for Ghanaians abroad to play in Ghana's development? If the answer is yes, then we have to ask ourselves, what are the measures that have been put in place to facilitate their return home to help with nation building? Join me on Diaspora Weekly every Saturday at 9 o'clock in the morning as I engage Ghanaians, be they at home or abroad, as we analyze the topical issues and relevant issues pertaining to how diasporans abroad can come home and help with nation building. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah, and this is Diaspora Weekly.
Welcome back to The Next MP. My name is Kafui Day. My guest is Paul Ofori Amwa. He is the NDC's parliamentary candidate for Agona West, the Central Region. He's also a development planner, and that's what we're going to spend some time talking about right now, Paul. So, when you look at the way Ghana's development has been organized, what are your thoughts as a professional who specializes in development planning?
Yes, I think in Nkrumah days, yes, I would say we were on the right path, having our industrial setting and then other economic, agrarian areas and the rest. But then unfortunately, we missed the path along the way, and we are all living to it. Because when you want to do some forecast, for example, the cocoa growing areas, I've been one person who has always been advocating for proper decentralization of our system, and then the preparation of the 4 years development plan.
But you worked in local government.
Yes,
wasn't it as decentralized as you would have wanted it to be?
No,
it wasn't?
no, it
What was
wasn't.
this experience on the ground?
Yes, being a planning officer at the local government setting, sometimes you go around and then the views you solicit, you come back and you realize that these views does not fit into the thematic areas. You know, whatever plan you are preparing, you need these thematic areas from National Development Planning Commission. So whatever views that you solicit, you must fall within the thematic areas that they will submit. But then the government will come and then the focus is somewhere else. I think Kafui brought I've forgotten, and then NDC also brought the shared growth, something. You know, we've been changing our development drive. So it becomes difficult for us to run through our project. That's why most of the times you realize that a government will start something, but then at the end of the day, they will not be, because this government will come and then the priority is not in that settings. It's not in maybe industrialization or it's not in education setting. They also have set up their priorities. And then you as a technocrat, you are being forced to follow that pattern.
Now you wear two hats because you are a technocrat and you're also a politician. And it's likely that if your government comes to power, the same things that you are talking about will happen. They may switch and do something else. What's the real remedy to prevent these swinging between this plan and that plan?
That's why I was very happy when they were doing the 40-year development plan, though I felt it was too long. But then I had a feeling that after every 10 years, we can have a review. So that no matter, the government in power, you will still fall in line with the plans, the national plan, or the national thematic areas that the 40-year plan is going to give us. But then, unfortunately, we've thrown it aside. I don't even hear of us talking about it. But then that's one thing I'm so keen about, that we can push that agenda, the 40 years development plan, so that renewable after every 10 years, not the 4 years plan that we prepare at the various. In fact, some of the assemblies, what we normally do is cut and paste. Because okay, this person, this is the thematic areas he will bring. Okay, this one can fall under this one can fall under this.
It was all Word and Excel.
Yes, they will present it to NDPC. Okay, that's our plan. Whether they infuse it into the national, and I don't even know where the national plan is, but then the district level, they prepare it. And sometimes you prepare the plan, and yearly, you need to pick out from the plan that you've prepared. But unfortunately, you see that the MCU will go somewhere, go and promise yes, go and promise a borehole, which is not in the plan. So quickly you have to fix it in there. So at the end of the year, maybe you have earmarked that you are going to do about 10 projects. But then you end up, doing 10 projects without any of them
falling into the line of the plan.
Yes.
And was this the same situation with Agona West and then with whole municipal? What were the common areas?
I think it's cut across. I'm being honest. This one I'm speaking as a technocrat, not as a politician. And it's cut across because basically, and when I was at the assembly, when the urban development grant period is in, they do the assessment. So you quickly have to ensure that your plans fall in place with the 4-year plan that you prepared. So we're always doing editing. Quickly, you have to fix in what you've implemented, and then you correct the main plan that you prepared for the 4 years. So it's been so. But then, in a normal circumstance, this thing should have flowed. If I have prepared a 4-year plan, that plan is there. Every year, whatever I'm going to do, I must ensure that it's coming from the 4-year plan.
Okay. You had some time with the Ghana Urban Management Pilot Project.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that and what you learned from that and what we can actually use to take the country forward.
Yes, as the name actually depicts, it's looking at some selected municipalities. Unfortunately, Ho Municipal was part, Takoradi was part, Kumasi was part. And then these are projects that were funded by the AFD. And if you visit these places that I've mentioned, you see the impact. It was under this project that they had a whole central market. The whole market was previously, a normal place, but then they had to change, build the whole central market, and then also located a place for the whole modern abattoir. In fact, I was surprised that the last time I passed there, it's still not being put to use.
Although there was a plan for it.
They've completed. The structure is there. When you are entering Ho Sokode, your left-hand side, there's a big structure. In fact, it was a modernized abattoir.
And what do you think is the reason? Why are they not using it?
Honestly, I cannot give the reason, but I'm surprised because the project has been, they finished with it long ago with a very well component, solar panel component that can power the entire facility, even in the absence of electricity. So I don't know what's happening to it. And then we have the landfill site, whereby because you realize that most of our refuse dump sites, we were just dumping them anywhere. So what they did was, no, let's have this landfill site where refuse will be disaggregated. That one also in Akrofu, if you know Volta region very well, and whole municipalities in Akrofu area. You visited, we had a segregation of liquid waste, solid waste, rubber, and I don't know what is happening. They've not been put to use. But then I think Kumasi, they started using the landfill site because they constructed the landfill site. And that's also when we have the STMA redevelopment, something which they are also benefiting from it. So it was a very huge project that if as a country we are taking it serious, I'm saying we are taking it serious because I don't know, I've left the scene, but then it seems we've just abandon those projects. And I sometimes get worried whenever I'm going to Ho and I see those facilities lying down. I mean, unconcerned. Nobody seems to. You go to the whole central market, the stores finished, but I don't know what they are waiting for. You know, our politics is a bit some way. The allocation, this is what you will do, the allocation, then there.
Is it party cards and things like that?
Another partisan, somebody will come and say, no, take it from him, give it to this person. So the structure is there and we are just gallivanting.
You actually have the advantage of looking at development from the district level, at the municipal level, and you also work with an international organization that deals with international cooperation and development, JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency. What have you learned from your time with them that would be beneficial to the whole development planning paradigm that we have in Ghana?
You know, working with international organization, for that matter, I've attended meetings with so many DPs. DPs are the development partners, Danida, Quaker, and the rest. There's one thing that is when they are focused, let me say focused, when they have in plan that this year, these are the things we are going to implement. Nothing will sway them from it.
So we are not focused?
Oh, Ghana, I wouldn't say we are not too focused.
Semi-focused?
Yes. Yes, because at any point in time, we can promise anything at any point in time. Recently, the president, just some few months ago, was promising 88 hospitals. Where from that?
From his mouth?
You see, that is where our problem is. Knee-jerk approach. You know, we seem not to be proactive, but then reactive.
But your presidential candidate is also promising...
but he has not come yet. So that's when he comes.
It starts from when you are...
So when he comes, that is when we are going to implement. But this one, you've already given us your manifesto. You've given us your budget. Everything is not even in the budget. And then halfway through the year, you come and then you are promising projects like, I mean,
so
you
the
know,
international organizations, they are focused.
Yes, at times they laugh at us, honestly. I mean, at times they laugh at us. Maybe this one we can talk about it off. But at times they laugh at us because they will realize
what do they find funny?
For example, let me give you a classical example. When Ghana Beyond Aid, we went for the meeting at the ministry and then we were celebrating with the others when we were eating the kinky and the rest. And then the next moment, you see a letter circulating for support for GBC. But you are saying Ghana Beyond Aid. So why are you writing for support? Do you get a point? So it's just like you are saying this and then you are implementing this at this. Sometimes I see letters flowing through and then I laugh over it. But then these are not things I can speak to. But then I think we aren't too focused as the development partners. Because the moment a request comes, for example, the motorway interchange is being funded by Japanese. Yes. The moment the thing comes, okay, this is what they want to do. Even now, they are not all Japanese have left the country. Some of them have left the country, leaving the major stakeholders in the country. But then the project is still ongoing. We've even approved the phase 2 of it. That doesn't mean they are going to abandon. This is focused. They are saying N8. Consultants are in town. That is the Yamaransa Road. Consultants are in town to come and then continue with it. By government, we'll go and promise the road. We will not be doing the road, but then we'll be building hospitals. You know, that is where I find a missing link. Because of politics, at any point in time, you need to say something. Or at any point in time, you need to do something.
So what you've learned from them is that the focus has to be clear.
Yeah.
And you must not sway from your focus.
Yes. And that is what is keeping me going. At any point in time, I tell my followers, within this month, this is what we want to do. Any other request that comes up, no, we are focused.
So would you say you're bringing a Japanese to Agona West?
Not the Japanese per se, but then I'm blending the Japanese, the Ghanaian, the experience I've had over the period to at least also support my people. Because at a point in time, you plan, okay, you are doing, let's say we've planned for a cleanup. Then you go to the cleanup and then someone say, oh, I need cement of bags. You must be able to explain. Yes, that is our focus at that particular moment. When we are done with it, we will tackle. But then the multiple tackling A, B, C, D. If you are focusing on education for the first year, why don't we focus on it? If you are focusing on health, why don't we focus on it? But then you see that we are doing multiple things at the same time. So we'll end up leaving some in the bush. And then some too will not even attend to it at all.
So what does JICA think about their member of staff running for MP?
I think it's a plus, you know. I remember there was a circular that went on that a JICA staff in Uganda or one of the African countries getting a ministerial appointment, and they were all happy with it. As in, you know, you have that credibility attached to the organization. I think that's what they are looking at. They are not only looking at the political, no. You know, they are looking at the credibility aspect of it. Because if a staff of JICA has won a position to be a member of parliament, definitely when I'm writing my CV, JICA is part of it. Do you get it? And then the kind of message I'm going to send out there will be a plus for them.
And if I do remember, your presidential candidate had some links with Japan.
Yes. It's the same. It's the same. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So maybe I'm following the steps.
You want to be president one day?
Maybe I'm following the steps.
Do you want to be president one day?
If it falls on me, why not? I'll take advantage of it.
Let's focus on Parliament for now. So, what's your plan for Parliament? Assuming that you win, what agenda would you be pushing?
Yes, our major focus, we've termed our agenda as Agunama Mpuntuo. Agunama Mpuntuo in the sense that with the links I've built over the years.
Mpuntuo being development?
Yes, development, yes.
For
Aguna, the people of Aguna, development for the people of Aguna. And there are so many things we've listed, and some of them we've already started doing it. We are looking at establishing something in Aguna. Because now if I mention Aguna Suedro, I don't know what you will remember us for. Virtually nothing. There's nothing that you can.
What do you want us to remember?
Yes, and that is what I am coming in with. We are trying to establish a grape wine factory in Aguna Suedro. And it's something we've started, not in Aguna Suedro, but in Aguna West. Let me put it out, in Aguna West.
So are you cultivating grapes?
Oh, yes. Even in my house here in Accra, you know, when I said it at first, I brought some to my constituents to taste it. I do them by myself, so I've just transferred that to my constituents. That is something we can take advantage of. You know, in Ho, for example, there was this place that they were manufacturing a local wine, very well packaged, but then unfortunately, I don't know how it went. We couldn't support the person because when you look at the packaging, and that's one thing I want to do in Aguna West. And I've started talking to people out of the country. You know, when you go to South Africa, even grapes, the normal trees, it's just like a tourist site. When they grow, and then they all come together, people visit.
So have you done the test? I mean, the soil must be
we've done
climate and all that stuff.
We've done the soil test in some selected towns. I've gone there with some lecturers from UCC. We've done the soil test, and in fact, we've started growing them. So these are things that, in fact, a year or two, you will see it manifesting. And then we are looking at the jobs for the boys, and job for the youth, of which...
How about the girls?
Job for the youth,
okay.
That's what I said, job for the youth, yes. Of which we've started also implementing that. We've secured some jobs for our teaming youth.
You used to work with the National Board for Small Scale Industries, and the MBS. You have a link.
Yes.
So small scales and enterprises, that whole...
Yes, so what we did was we grouped them, you know, that they deal in their groupings. So we had those into the cassava processing to gari. We have those who, in fact, we've established something, those who were doing coconut oil. I took a Japanese there, and now they can even transform the coconut oil to making soaps in one of the villages within the Aguna West Enclave, and it's fetching them so much. And when we did that, because it's a Japanese who taught them, they also linked me to the Ohio market in Accra here. So theirs is just to produce and then bring it to Ohio markets. Everything will be bought. So regarding the job training, recently we trained some youth in satellite installation and others, which they've graduated, and I've started buying the tools for them, that they can also start their own minor jobs. And with the links that we've been able to secure some teaching jobs at GES for some of our youth who have also completed school and then they are interested in the teaching profession. And also secure some nursing opportunities for some of our ladies, our females.
From what you're saying, if you want to be a successful parliamentary candidate, you really must be a jobs contractor. Because from the beginning of the show to now, what I hear is you've got to find jobs for people. Am I wrong?
Yes, and I think that is the best way. Rather than people coming to you, oh, my father is sick, my mother is sick, I need this. No. At least let a member of the family get something going and you'll be fine as an MP. So I am always, whenever I'm working, I'm looking for opportunities. I'm always lobbying people wherever there's any opportunities because of the coronavirus, things are down. But then wherever I meet people, I try to lobby them wherever there's opportunity. You know, J4X Security Services, for example, I have pushed so many of the team in youth who were just working in town to join, at least at the end of the month.
Are they qualified?
Oh, yes.
You can't just be pushing people.
Oh, no, they are, no, I wouldn't just push anybody. I wouldn't just push anybody.
There must be a lot
Qualified.
of pressure on you as a parliamentary candidate. You know, so you're walking around and you're always thinking of jobs for the people. That must be a lot.
Yes, not a pressure, but then it's something I've been doing over the period. So I see it to be one of those things that I need to support my people.
Do you wish that running for office were less expensive, less demanding in terms of outlay, financial outlay?
It depends on what your plans are and then what you intend to do. Because at one point in time, maybe someone will decide that, okay, I'm not going to spend. Let me keep every resources I have to myself. And then when it's election year, I will go and splash something. I win, I keep everything to myself. But then I don't want to be that kind of politician. I want to, as a matter of fact, I prefer good name better than riches. I want to leave a name in Aguna West, whereby when people mention the name Paul, they will say, oh, the guy who came to do this, the guy who gave us jobs, the guy who was able to do this. I mean, I've always opted for good name.
It's better than riches.
Yes.
Right, and so we'll take a last break. On the next MP, my guest is Paul Ofori-Amoah, NDC's parliamentary candidate for Aguna West. And when we return, I'll find out his views on the voters registration and then management of COVID issues and, what it takes for him to become the next MP, if he can indeed unseat the current MP, who is also the Minister for Gender. Stay with us, don't go anywhere.
As the national regulator of the communications industry in Ghana, the National Communications Authority seeks to ensure an environment that is safe and fair for consumers and service providers. NCA grants licenses and authorizations for operation of communication systems and services, develops guidelines to streamline communication activities, establish and monitor quality of service indicators for operators and service providers. NCA is in 8 regions: Accra, Tamale, Takoradi, Kumasi, Ho, Koforidua, Sunyani, and Bolgatanga. Do you have unresolved complaints with your service providers? Contact us on 0800110662, 0307011419 between the hours of 8 o'clock a.m. and 5 o'clock p.m. from Monday to Friday, or visit our website at www.nca.org.gh and follow the procedure for filing a complaint or submitting enquiry. National Communications Authority, communications for development.
Thank you for watching The Next MP. My name is Kafui Day. My guest is Paul Ofori-Amoah, NDC's parliamentary candidate for Aguna West. Paul, so I was checking out your Facebook, and you were complaining about the busing of residents from other areas into areas to go and put their names on the register. Is that the best way to go about it? Just complaining on Facebook?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Talking about the voter registration exercise and then the busing issues, I think it was just last 3 days. Yesterday, it was just yesterday we had one experience. And I've always believed in, if I know I have worked, why do I have to bus people to come and vote for me? No, you don't need to go travel to somebody's constituency to take a decision for those there.
And so the busing is to swell the numbers.
Yes.
In your favor,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yes.
If you are the one
yeah,
doing
if you are the one doing it. Unfortunately, for my part, it was, other constituency trying to bus people from my constituency. And we got a tip-off, so we had to wake up at 2 a.m. to ensure that we get the people back. And
how did you do that?
yes, definitely. We all have our intelligence we pick. So when they were doing their planning, everything, the moment they moved, we got the intel.
Did you involve the police?
Yeah, actually, it was the police that we gave the police the car numbers, everything, and then they busted them. And one thing I realized was, they felt disappointed in my MP. And they felt, they were expecting more of her due to the promises she gave them, and then that she being a woman, she will understand the plight of a woman, and being a gender minister too, but then it's the other way around. We would have opted for the male. And as a result, they felt, no, they need to go to Winneba, where they will be recognized, and a male MP will support them. So I had to come in to talk to them. That is why I am coming in. In fact, they shouldn't use the past experience to judge the future. So we had some discussions with them, and then they had to stay in the constituency. And I also had to engage with the other constituency. That these
where were they bringing the people from? Which constituency?
From my area to Winneba.
Okay.
Yes, so I had to speak to
they were taking people out of your...
Yes, about 80.
Which is not good for you.
Yes.
You need the people
yes.
Okay.
So we had to quickly...
So they came back?
Oh, yes. In fact, all of them came back. We had to secure bail for them at the police station. I spoke with the PC there, and then we had, a fruitful deliberations.
What's the biggest challenge with the voters' registration?
Some of the machines. Some, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's intentional because I don't know. But then you could see that some of the machines are very slow. After every person, the machine would need to take time to restart before. But then, that notwithstanding, Aguna West, I would say we've not had much of a challenge.
With the machines, what's your action? What action have you taken?
Yes, we reported them, and then some of them have been replaced.
And
then and then sometimes they have the movement machine of about 2 machines at the EC office. So at any point in time when there's crowded area, if we are known, we inform the EC, and then they send those machines there to also support. And I would say Aguna West, EC, they are doing well.
Okay.
I would say, perspectively to Aguna West. Yes,
How about COVID?
Yes.
What are the challenges creating in a COVID environment?
Yes, especially the social distancing aspect is becoming difficult for people to adhere to that. In fact, on a few occasions, I've visited almost every center. Since they started, I've visited almost every center. And sometimes that's the challenge you have. You see as demarcated the places people should stand or sit. But then, as human as we are, we sometimes go off board. We don't follow the due process and the rest. But then we are also trying as much as possible to talk to our people. Because during this COVID period, we've had I personally have done a lot of education, done jingles, moved to almost every corner of the constituency to distribute sanitizers, face masks, and all those things to support our people. So I believe, to some extent, some places they are really observing the social distances. But other places, within the first day, it's very horrible. But after the first day, second day onwards, you see that the numbers are down, so they're able to adhere to the various safety protocols.
What's your message to unseat the current Member of Parliament, Cynthia Morrison, Gender Minister?
Yes,
Why should people vote for you?
Yes, I think as people have known me to be an action man, I don't talk, I'm a doer. And I implement whatever people have had who are bothering them. And I think given the nod, if today I'm able to do A, B, C, given the nod, I'll be able to add D, E, and F. We've had an MP who is a minister, but then unfortunately we needed to demonstrate on our roads for people to be arrested, for Paul to come in and then get them a lawyer to bail them before our own roads will be fixed.
Is it that I saw a video of the Wawasi road and
yes.
you were not too happy with it?
Yes, because their road was done less than a month. that road.
Do you blame the minister for the bad road? Is that fair?
But when they were constructing it, they took pictures that the Wawasi road is being constructed, so we should clap for them. And less than a month, if it's like this,
Why don't you haul the contractor? Why bring the minister in?
But did the minister hail the contractor, that, oh, contractor, you've done well. But you took credit for it. So if less than a month, there is problem, whom should we blame? You brought the contractor and then you took credit for it.
She brought the contractor?
That's what she said. That she is doing the road. In fact, she is doing this, she's doing this, she's doing. And then you construct the road, and less than a month, that video you saw, it's just less than a month, you will see such a thing. Whom do you blame? Yourself, because you sent your people, some were even sitting on the road just to show us that they are constructing the road. But unfortunately, this is what we've gotten. I'm not the type that will do the personal attack kind of politics. I've always...
But you think she should go?
Not I think. The constituents know that she must go for Paul to come in order for them to be okay.
You also want Nana to go. I've seen your hashtag kick Nana out.
That one is
somebody who is your father, 76 years old.
It's a communal labor for the entire country, not only Paul. It's a communal labor. If we don't do it, we are doomed. If we are to give these people the next 4 years, we wouldn't know where Ghana will be.
They say they've stabilized the economy.
Where?
They have created
jobs. you and I know. You've created jobs and then you've destroyed. When I remember in 2016 election when DKM and the rest, come and see how they were shouting on rooftop. Hey, yes, Nana is Mahama. Now men's good. What do we see? People have died out of it. What do we see with the banks? UniCredit, Unibank. So many. I have relatives who were working there. They are home. Recently, they said they were going on demonstration. They said they were going to pay them something. Until now, they've not received anything. My own relatives. So I always speak. They were also jumping MPP, Nanado, and now they are home. So do you think they will forgive you?
So you think it's a communal
It's a communal labor. For Nanado, it's a communal labor. For Mamle Morrison, the Aguna West MP, it's Aguna West communal labor for all of us. In fact, everyone is joining that we need to kick her out to see to our development. She was recorded on air, I think Adum FM also, saying that she came to marry in Aguna West and she has married the constituency. I am telling them that I didn't come to marry in Aguna West. I am the blood of Aguna West. And as such, I understand they apply it. And
are you playing the ethnic card there?
No, not at all. But then I refer to you. I refer to her that she brought in that on air. So I'm just responding to what she said. Do
you have to respond?
Oh, yes. At times it's very necessary. So I needed to respond in that part. So, you see, at this point, my people, they know. And they know what they want. They want the youthful exuberant. And I thank the youth so far for the massive, massive, massive support. In fact, the youth of Aguna West, they have taken the campaign as their own project. And sometimes people do things in my name just to ensure that Paul is crowned.
Like what?
Like buying Veronica buckets for schools. Some of them even contributed, and then they sold 2,000 face masks for people, distributing 800.
Branded with your face on
yes.
it? Your face was on it?
Oh, no. Normal face mask. Yes. Okay. They brought it to me to distribute. And they were buying sanitizers for me. Some organized communal labor at their various places, and they buy shovels and the rest. Some, I don't even know about it. I just get we got your package. And I'm like, wow, who brought the package? Okay, they mentioned the person's name. I'll now go and look for the person. Some of them I have not even met personally. But then through social media, Facebook, somebody will private me, I've gone to this place to do this thing for you. So when you get there, some youth needed a goal post. And then one guy just picked it up, did it for them. So I was just on there, he sent me a message that, hey, I've gone to do this for you. So when you get there, they are doing it. I did it for them in your name. And that is the zeal.
That makes you happy and excited.
Yes, that they really want change. And we have seen the light.
What should happen if the communal labor doesn't actually happen?
It is going...
And then you lose.
The communal labor is actually going to happen. So that aspect will not even come in.
You're cocksure that you're winning?
Must. It's a must win. It's a must win. not complacent, but we must win. Aguna West deserves better.
And if you don't win?
I am winning. There's nothing like if. I am winning.
Okay, so when you lose?
Not when you lose. There's nothing like losing this election. It's a win-win situation.
You're sure on what gives you on what do you stand?
You know,
What
when
is the
people
hope that you stand on for this?
when people
Because politically you would be seen as a novice. You're coming up against somebody who has the backing of a ruling party. She wears two hats. She herself says she's married into the constituency. So that's a good relationship she has there. And she's going for a second term, just like her presidential candidate is also going for a second term.
And when
so I'm sure they have 4 more for Cynthia.
Maybe I've been seeing,
those
some
ones in
two
Aguna
guys
West.
doing that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
But then
so what do you
the
stand on?
honest truth is, when the wind of change is blowing, nobody can stop it. And that is exactly what is happening in Ghana and in Aguna West. The wind of change is blowing, and it's blowing heavily. And people are going to vote based on issues. People are going to vote based on the activities we've done, based on our actions over the period. You cannot wait third, final year to your elections, and then you'll come and share expired ice creams to our oldies and our...
That's a very serious allegation.
Oh, not an allegation.
Expired ice cream.
Yes, they had a press conference on it. They were expired. And then she was called, and she was all over saying that she didn't check. Negligence. How can you tell me you are going to share something and you didn't check the expiring date of the product you are going to share? I mean, do you think of us?
So hopefully you're going to kick her out.
Absolutely.
If your plans work.
Absolutely.
We're wrapping up now, and before I end the show, I just want to find out from you, who inspires you really in politics? I mean, who actually brought your mind to, hey, this is something that I can do?
Yes. I'll say Professor Kwesi Botwe is a godfather, and I have some few also in Aguna West. I mean, Lawyer Charles Obin, who my former MP, and then Honorable Samuel Opong. He was also our MP in '92 and in '96, yes, and then the MC before 2016 elections. Yes, looking at their lifestyle and then what they stood for, they've always, Prof, for example, has always been somebody who always wants to help whenever one is in need. I always talk to him on phone that, Prof, I want to do A, B, C, D. Okay, wait, this one, do it this way, this one, do it this way. And we've been receiving a lot of, I have been receiving a lot of encouragement, I mean, words of encouragement from him. He inspires me a lot.
That's a heavyweight to have in your corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Action man, Paul Ofori
Amwa. The poor agenda.
Poor agenda.
Yes.
Hashtag action man. Hashtag go for poor.
Yeah.
It's on Facebook. That's why I saw it.
Yeah.
My name is Kafui Day. Paul, thank you very much.
Thank
Paul
you.
Ofori Amwa is the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the good people of Aguna West. He's hoping to unseat the gender minister and the MP for that particular constituency. Let's find out what happens on the 7th of December 2020. Till then, until the next show, keep it right here, and I'll see you next time on The Next